It is the movie that beat The Godfather. Not at the box office, it bombed there, but on the soul of every person who has ever felt trapped. For 3 decades, The Shawshank Redemption has sat atop the throne as the greatest film ever made, according to millions of fans. But here is the secret the cast has kept for 30 years: you have been watching the wrong man. We all think this is Andy Dufresne's story. The genius banker who crawled through a river of shit and came out clean on the other side. But Morgan Freeman, Tim Robbins, and the late James Whitmore revealed something on set that changes everything. Today, we aren't just talking about the plot holes you missed, or the trivia you can Google. We are going inside the head of the actors who lived in that frozen, hellish prison. We are uncovering the deleted subplots that would have broken your heart, the real-life prison horrors the camera refused to show, and the one shocking truth about the poster of Raquel Welch that the director swore he would never reveal. If you think you understand Red's final words on that bus, you don't. Not yet. To understand the secrets, you have to understand the curse. Frank Darabont didn't buy the rights to Stephen King's novella Rita Hayworth and Shawshank Redemption with a check. He bought them for $1. $1. Because King thought the story, which is mostly internal monologue and a man chipping plaster for 20 years, was unfilmable. But the real nightmare started when the cameras rolled at the Ohio State Reformatory. This wasn't a soundstage. This was a real maximum security prison that had been shut down for inhumanity. The cells were 6 by 8. The heat was broken. Tim Robbins once confessed that the producers installed panic buttons in the costumes of the extras. Why? Because they hired actual former inmates to fill the background. Not actors. Men who had actually been stabbed in that laundry room. Morgan Freeman recalled walking into the mess hall on day 1 and feeling the temperature drop. Freeman said, "That wasn't acting. Those guys were looking at us like we were meat." And that leads us to our first hidden truth. You know the scene. Andy sits in the warden's office, listening to the duet from The Marriage of Figaro. He locks the door. He turns up the volume. The camera pans over the yard as every inmate freezes, listening to angels sing in a devil's playground. The studio wanted to cut this scene. They called it pretentious. But here is what Tim Robbins revealed to a director's roundtable years later: Andy wasn't just sharing beauty. He was getting revenge. ***. Look at Robbins's face in that chair. He isn't smiling. He is smirking. Because Robbins played Andy with a dual consciousness that 99% of fans miss. There was the Andy we see, the mild-mannered, violated victim. But there was the other Andy. The accountant. The predator. Robbins explained that Andy wasn't just playing Mozart to be nice. He was establishing dominance. He was telling the warden, **I control this place now. I am the only light in this darkness, and without me, you are blind. ***. You see it again when he walks into the electricity of the storm drain. Most actors play that scene as desperation. Robbins played it as relief. He was finally leaving the cage he hated. That's not a man who escaped. That is a man who was always free on the inside, waiting for his body to catch up. We have to talk about the suicide. Brooks. James Whitmore was a Hollywood legend. He was in the asphalt jungle. He won a Tony. And when he read the script for Shawshank, he looked at Frank Darabont and said, "This old man you wrote. He's too simple." Whitmore revealed in his final interview before his death that he wrote the bird scene. The crow, Jake. That wasn't in King's book. Whitmore added it because he wanted to show that Brooks loved the prison. The bird didn't need to fly away, so neither did Brooks. But here is the hidden meaning that gutted the cast. Look at the carving on the beam. Brooks was here. Now look at the scene where Red finds it. Morgan Freeman improvised the moment where Red takes off his hat. That silence? That was Freeman breaking character for 5 seconds to mourn a real friend. But the deeper secret is the date. Look closely at the scratch marks. Brooks didn't kill himself the day he got out. He waited 6 months. 6 months of sleeping in a halfway house. 6 months of flinching at car horns. The cast agreed, Brooks didn't die because he was old. He died because the world outside didn't want him. That truth is the film's antidote to hope. Without Brooks, Red's final speech doesn't work. You have to see the failure to understand the success. Let's talk about the villain. Warden Norton. Lord, it's a fire. Bob Gunton, who played the sadist, kept a secret on set. He stole the Bible prop. Look at the box where Andy hides the rock hammer. The warden finds it. He opens the cover. He reads the verse, "Watch and pray, that ye enter not into temptation." Most fans see irony. The cast saw something else. Gunton revealed that Darabont had been hiding a visual code in the film. Every time the warden quotes scripture, the camera tilts down. The light is behind him. He is literally casting a shadow on the Bible. But here is the detail you missed. In the final shot of the warden's office, after he shoots himself, the Bible falls open to the exact page where Andy hid the hammer. The exhausted from the rock hammer is still visible. The prop master later told Gunton that they had printed a fake book of Exodus inside that Bible. Not just the story of Moses. The story of leaving. The warden preached captivity, but he was holding the manual for escape the whole time. He just wasn't smart enough to read it. Here is the emotional peak. The most shocking truth. Morgan Freeman has a confession. He says he gets asked about the "get busy living" line every day. But he revealed on the 25th anniversary Blu-ray that Red is an unreliable narrator. Listen to the voiceover. Red speaks perfect English. He is articulate. But Freeman decided that Red would be illiterate in the first act of the film. Wait, what? Yes. Look at the scene where Andy first asks for a rock hammer. Red looks at the catalog. He hesitates. Freeman played that hesitation not as suspicion, but as shame. Red couldn't read the price. The crew had to hide literacy primers in Red's cell in the background of scenes set in the 1940s. It is a blink and you miss it detail. But here is why it matters. Red lies to us. He tells us he is the man who knows how to get things. But the truth is, Andy taught Red how to read. He taught him how to see. The final scene, walking on the beach towards Andy? Freeman wasn't acting exhausted. He was acting grateful. He was walking towards the man who gave him a vocabulary. The redemption isn't just the escape. It is the literacy. It is the education. Now we arrive at the secret no one figured out. The poster. Raquel Welch. 1,000,000 years B.C. Tim Robbins let the secret slip in a 2019 podcast. He said that Darabont chose that specific poster not just because of the sex appeal but because of the weapon. In the movie poster, Raquel Welch is holding a wooden spear. She is a cavewoman. She is primal. Robbins revealed that the production team hid the rock hammer behind her eye in the poster for the final 2 weeks of shooting. Andy stares at that poster every night. He is staring at prehistoric survival. He is staring at the first tool. But here is the haunting part. When the camera finally pans behind the poster after the escape, the prop department had painted a tiny, invisible marking on the concrete. It was a symbol from ancient alchemy, the Ouroboros. The snake eating its own tail. The symbol of infinite cycles. Andy didn't just dig a tunnel. He traveled back in time through that wall. He dug through the layers of Shawshank's history, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, until he reached the raw, animal version of himself. The man who had nothing to lose. The poster wasn't a pinup. It was a mission statement. So why are we still watching this film 30 years later? It's not the twist. It's not the rain. It is the silence at the end. The sound of the waves. When Red walks across the sand, Tim Robbins improvised the line, "I hear it." That wasn't in the script. Robbins was talking about the Pacific. But Freeman thought he was talking about hope. The cast knew they had made something strange. A prison movie where the prison was the good guy. A tragedy about a bird that loved its cage. A comedy about a man who took 40 years to mail a letter. The Shawshank Redemption endures because it doesn't lie to you. It shows you the rape. It shows you the betrayal. It shows you the old man hanging from a beam. And then, despite all the evidence to the contrary, it whispers, "Go south." The warden took Andy's shoes. The sisters took Andy's blood. The system took his youth. But they never found the rock hammer. And neither did you. If you liked digging through the walls of this masterpiece, hit that subscribe button. In our next video, we expose the hidden fraternity in Fight Club that the censors never caught. Remember, fear can hold you prisoner. Hope can set you free. See you in the next one.